Royal Enfield Interceptor 660cc, a classic British motorcycle made in India and in Leicestershire in the UK, comes steeped in heritage and British culture. And not the most powerful motorbike on sale today by a long way, but it is packed with character, and is it one of, if not the best modern classic motorcycle on the market today at a great price as well. Aiming straight at the Triumph Bonnevilles. It's been a long time coming. I have never ridden a Royal Enfield in my life before, and today we're going to take the Interceptor 650 for a first ride and see what she's like.
Alright guys, yes, you heard me correct. I've never ridden a Royal Enfield before, which I'm slightly ashamed to say so, because I absolutely love the look of the brand and I am a big fan of the styling of their motorbikes. So the Interceptor 650 starting at £6,039, that is one of the major benefits going straight into this bike. It's the price. That is such good value for money when you're looking at this motorcycle. Its engine, the build quality, the styling, the whole package for just over, a smidgen over £6,000 is a brilliant and very tempting deal. But does the bike live up to its name and ride as well as some people suggest? Well, the engine, obviously the giveaway is in the name, it's a 650 engine. The power figures aren't blow you away power figures, so it's 47 brake horsepower and 52.3 to be exact Newton meters of torque. But what's that actually like to ride? Because figures on a piece of paper don't really mean anything. Motorcycling, especially if you're looking at a modern classic motorbike. Ah, the Baker's Arms, that's a good name for a pub. That's the type of place you want to take your Royal Enfield. Actually, we're in the Cotswolds today in the UK. Beautiful place, a perfect place to go cruising on this bike. Anyway, yeah, the stats, the figures on paper for a bike like a Royal Enfield and a modern classic just really don't mean that much, if I'm being honest. It's more what the bike feels like. You're not in it to break records for speed, or if you are, you're going to be let down. So straight off the bat guys, having ridden this for a few hours already, I want to say a massive thank you to Bike Treads in Swindon, the dealership, motorcycle dealership there. They've got all sorts, Royal Enfield, Benelli, some really interesting brands, and they've lent me this beautiful Interceptor 650 to the day. So massive thank you to Bike Treads in Swindon for giving me my first ever ride on a Royal Enfield. Thank you very much guys. First off, jumping on this, the first thing I notice is the looks. I very much do like the looks. It's got that classic styling, very much similar to the Triumph Bonneville range. So it's pretty much aiming square at the Triumph Bonnevilles, the T100 and the T20, 120 excuse me. The first thing I notice about this bike is starting up the engine, is it's surprisingly raughty. The exhaust sound and the character from the exhaust and the motor is really nice. It's got a throaty noise coming from that exhaust. So being a 650cc air-cooled parallel twin, it's got loads of character, this engine, and like I say, my first initial reactions to it were, it's quite grunty actually, it's quite meaty, it sounds really nice, so very impressed with the sound. I'd actually say it trumps the Bonneville T's actually, possibly the T120 as well, and that's a much larger engine. So yeah, great point to the Interceptor on sound. But what does it ride like, being that sort of slightly smaller CC engine than the Bonnevilles? You know what? In all honesty, I think this is just as quick as the T100, the Bonneville. Seriously. So the Bonneville's it's got around 64 brake horsepower. So this is down on numbers, but there's something Royal Enfield have done with this engine. It's very smooth, it's got some nice characterful vibes, but it is a smooth motor, and I can't tell what gear I'm in at the moment because there's no gear indicator, which is nice. It's such a simple bike, but it's got 6 gears, 1 down, 5 up, and it's just so smooth. It'll easily go over 75 miles an hour if you like it to in 6th gear. So there's actually a lovely amount of go there. Now, it's not quick. Don't be expecting an exciting fast bike that's going to pull all the way through the revs and give you a bit of a buzz low down. It's not that, but once you get it up in the higher gears, 4th, 5th and 6th, it's really comfortable just to sort of cruise on at legal road speed. So yeah, the engine, absolute peach on the 650. I'm surprised by it. I thought I was going to be underwhelmed by the power, but I'm not. It's a lovely, very charming engine, I would say.
So guys, yeah, the base model of the Interceptor 650 is coming in at £6,039. Now if you compare that to the Bonneville's coming in at £9,395, so you're saving a fair chunk of wedge on one of these Royal Enfields, and honestly, I'm not going to give you my verdict yet, but yeah, this is really nice. But that is the base model. You may have noticed Bike Trades have actually put a few little extra trinkets on this bike, which will bring the price up. I'll put the prices on the screen. I'll just go over some of the extras, starting off with the panniers here. So you've got soft bag panniers with a waterproof lining inside, which is really nice. It sort of gives it that real like expedition look to it, which I think is really cool for like sort of just, I don't know, riding across India or down sort of gravel tracks and just going exploring in the countryside on your old classic Royal Enfield modern classic. Just looks so cool. Really like that about the bike. Another extra, it's actually got some aftermarket wing mirrors on, so quite nice sort of feels, yeah, metal wing mirrors there. Coming here onto the seat, so this is not a standard seat. It's got a lovely diamond, I would 100% spec this, a diamond stitched brown leather seat here. And actually the seat's very good. It's just nice and flat, long flat seat, so you could happily fit a pillion on the back, and very comfortable for longer journeys, I should imagine. So also guys, slightly add to that sort of expedition style, they've got fitted a fly screen here, which is from Royal Enfield. All of these aftermarket features I've just mentioned are all from Royal Enfield's accessories catalogue. So yeah, you can spec these if you like, straight from Royal Enfield. Yeah, I like these extras. I would spec them. So the last little extra added on accessory is the engine crash protection bars down here in black. Little inscribed Royal Enfield on the top of the engine bars there. So that's really nice. I would also spec these. It gives it that slightly more sort of rugged, little bit of protection for if you're going down gravel tracks, etc., and more sort of expedition style.
So another thing that I'm really enjoying about the Interceptor 650 are the dials here. Just lovely analog rev counter on the right and your speedometer on the left. You've got a very small LCD digital screen below just showing you your trip and your fuel, which is nice and handy. But yeah, 2 dials with a chrome surround, just a massive fan of that. Really liking those. Very classic and quality looking. Excuse my ugly looking bag here, but I actually really like this simple touch. But the crossbar, just a metal crossbar here on the handlebars, gives it a nice extra feature to it as well. And then you fire up, just listen to the 650 engine. It's very nice. I don't know how else to describe it. It's meaty. It's got a sort of deep bellow to it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I am actually really thoroughly enjoying this bike. I do most bikes I ride, to be honest, but this is really tugging at my heartstrings, this. I'm very much enjoying it. Oh, watch out for this little puppy up here. Little cute thing. Is that a puppy or just a small adult dog? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's really getting to the soul of you, this bike. It's really endearing and lovely to ride. So the brakes, guys, up front you have a single 320mm disc, and then on the rear you have a single 240mm disc. The brakes aren't anything to write home about. They're actually just standard brakes, you know. You're not going mega fast on this thing. They're completely capable of stopping you. I wouldn't want any more. So what does she actually feel like to ride? What's the overall feeling? Well, the riding position is a big piece of this bike as well. It's got an 805mm seat height, which is actually taller than the Triumph Bonneville T100. So the Bonneville T100 seat height is 790mm. So yeah, I mean a 19mm height difference is not a lot, but I would say this Interceptor does feel slightly more roomy. If you're a taller rider, I would start considering the Interceptor. It's a very comfortable riding position. I could actually do quite a lot of miles on this. I'm 5'9", so I'm not maybe sort of around average height, I suppose. And yeah, very comfortable. A bend in my knees, but not too much. I haven't got any little aches or pains anywhere, which is a great sign. I could do a long time on this bike, and the handlebars are quite nicely raised up to give you a comfortable, commanding riding position. Okay, so just to demonstrate that she does have enough power on faster roads, if you were planning on going on a tour on this, taking her over to Europe or wherever you like to go touring. So we're going, let's bring it up a bit more. 70 miles an hour, excuse the wind if it's windy, that's just my helmet. 70 miles an hour in 6th gear at 4,500 RPM. And there's no complaints coming from her whatsoever. It's really smooth. There's no vibrations anywhere, maybe a tiny little bit through the pegs, the foot pegs, but other than that, she's an absolute peach. I could do this for a long time. It's got the little dart fly screen. I would highly recommend, if you're thinking of doing longer trips on your Interceptor, of considering this fly screen that Royal Enfield do as an accessory. I'm getting a small bit of buffeting on the top of my head, but other than that, I'm very pleased with it. It's nice clean air, and it's just taking an edge away from that quite sometimes harsh blast of air you can get on a naked motorcycle. So yeah, very nice on faster roads for touring. So guys, the Interceptor fuel, you have a nice old school metal sort of Thruxton style fuel cap here, and it's got a 13.7 litre fuel tank, which is not bad for this style motorcycle, and it does around 70 mpg, so you're going to get a few miles out of a tank on the Interceptor actually. So yeah, I think that's definite bonus of the Interceptor. The mpg is fantastic with that smaller 650cc engine. Obviously a key to open the fuel cap here. It's not keyless. Past that lorry. Precarious hay bales on the lorry there. Do not want those falling on you and ruining this lovely Interceptor. So guys, what's the handling like, and suspension? So the Interceptor weighs in at 217 kilograms wet, ready to ride. So if we compare that to the Bonneville, the T100, excuse me, that is 228 kilograms wet. And that makes a difference, that amount of weight in motorcycling. So you can feel that, I would say, in the Interceptor. It feels like a nice, light, classic bike. And that does come into the handling. It does lean in and it handles nicely. It's progressive, it's smooth, it's not mega quick to turn in, but if you want to have some fun with it, you can play around and have fun. Up front you've got 41mm forks with 110mm of travel. On the rear you've got a single coilover shock with 80mm of travel. Now the suspension setup, along with the weight, it's really sort of focused at, it's a very comfortable ride to start off with. Nice and pliable suspension. Just coming back to bike treads here, you could comfortably go down gravel tracks and nothing too harsh, but and be quite comfortable on those gravel tracks. And on road, like I say, that word keeps on coming back, it's a comfortable ride. Suspension's nice and pliable, it's non-adjustable. Yeah, that ain't the end of the world. It's a nice riding setup for the road, very cushy, easy ride. Righty ho, here we are, team. I hope you enjoyed the review there of the Royal Enfield Interceptor. I thoroughly enjoyed that, actually. This is the type of bike that just pulls at your heartstrings and makes you want one to just go and have a bit of fun and just go. Actually, this is making me want to go touring, go camping. A massive thank you to Bike Trades again for lending me the Royal Enfield Interceptor. If you're interested in one, I would definitely say go and take a look. Is it better than the Triumph Bonnevilles? I don't know, it's different. It's definitely better in ways. For the price, compared to the Bonneville T100, what would I have? Boom, I would have the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, 100%. I've very much enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's a better bike, they're different. I prefer the engine in the Royal Enfield. The Royal Enfield is much more of a classic, simpler motorcycle, simpler ride. There's no riding modes, no traction control. It's got ABS on the front and the rear. As you can see, it's just a basic old school motorcycle that is lost in today's current climate, I believe, and is well worth considering. It really does have a charm to it. I can feel it in my heart. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, team. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the awesome next bike review. Ciao, ciao, bella.